Ja, een very good afternoon. I'm Vincent Edwards from Diamond Picks, and with me is Idan Velleman. A good day to you, Idan. It's been a long time that we went to Diamond Picks TV, huh?
It has been very good to be back, Vincent. Good afternoon to you too.
Yeah, we went to Bitcoin Amsterdam. You went to Israel. We've been traveling a lot, seeing a lot of people, and we're just dying to basically discuss the week because things are looking better. We had a nice little uptime for the first time in a couple of months. Bitcoin was up to 21,000. And we're going to discuss if this is just temporary going up and down, or if there's any good news on the horizon.
Yeah.
So let's look at that. First, discuss with me how we're doing this week.
So we always start on the overview, on the weekly overview of Bitcoin. You can see that it's still on the range, somewhere between the 19 and 32. We saw a small uptick at the beginning of the week from the 19 to the 21K, as you just mentioned. We see now a little bit of a correction, and so still on the range, up and down a little. But as you said, there's some good news that we may see a continuation of the uptick. So let's talk about that.
So, well, this. I mean, if you look at it, the uptake is, you cannot even see it with your eye, right?
With the weekly note. Yeah.
If we zoom in and enormously, then we see a nice uptake, and it's been so up and down. I mean, just voluntarily was down so much and on a very low level. So. What happened that it went up, Idam?
Yeah, so you're right. So the volatility went down. It was very calm, and it was somewhere all the time on the 19 to the 9,500 and 9,000. And I think there was some expectation that the Fed will be less hawkish. We can see that the U.S. Treasury has been talking about providing more liquidity to the U.S. market, and there's some things that are happening in the UK as well. And the consequences, you can see that the dollar index, the DXY, went down, and when that is the trend is a bit reversed on the DXY, then we see immediately that it has an impact on the Nasdaq, and it has an impact on the Bitcoin as well. So that
let's unpack this. I mean, there's good news and there's bad news. That's what I remember. Yeah. Let's take a look at it. I always love this Coin 360 website where you can really greatly see how big everything is and how everything goes up. So we see that Bitcoin went up 5.6, but Ethereum did a lot better, 16%. We're going to discuss that. Why is Ethereum doing so much better? And when the merge was there, nothing happened, and now suddenly it goes up 16. It goes up 16%. So that's really interesting. And then the last day, we saw that we saw some of these trends being reversed, because we saw that Bitcoin today went down 2% and Ethereum went down 3%. So it's always a mixed bag. Okay, so then if we look at the Nasdaq, what happened in Nasdaq when the interest rate announcement came?
No, so there was no interest rate announcement yet. It was just that the dollar start reversing. There's expectation, and there were some last week some voices from members of the Fed that maybe the current monetary policy is a bit too hawkish, is a bit too aggressive, and those rumors were immediately impacted also the stock exchange market, and you can see that the Nasdaq had a nice uptick in the beginning of the week. Because of that, you can see that the reversal trend of the DXY. I think it's the next slides that we can have a look at it, and so that's good news. That's good news for risk on assets like tech.
And the dollar went down in value compared to all the other coins. Was that? Do you know? Was it especially the euro which became stronger, or what was in the basket of coins where you compare the dollar now which one did we do better? Because, for example, the gas price went down quite a bit here in Europe, and that's some of the expectation is that we had the biggest problems with the energy market, or is that unclear?
There's a few reasons. So one of the reasons is within the U.S. The Treasury has said there are rumors that they will provide more liquidity, and also that people were thinking that the Fed won't continue their policy and may not increase the rates as much as they increased so far.
Yeah,
On the other end, the UK, there's a new prime minister in the UK, and people appreciate what he does, and you can see that the pound has become stronger. Also, the ECB yesterday decided that they're increasing the rate, so that's another reason why the euro since a long time is a bit stronger. So I could see that this trend will continue. Dollar was very strong, and a lot of people expected to see that trend reverse, and now the trend is reversed. So that's good news, and good news for Bitcoin as well.
Okay. Now, yesterday was not a good time for the Nasdaq. My God! In one day, Microsoft 8%, Google 9%, Meta 20%, and Amazon 20%. Is that? And that is as a remark on the economy is strong and resilient.
Yeah,
but
that's
I mean 20% for Meta. And well, we know Meta has been dramatically going down over the time. But Amazon minus 20%. Wow.
Yeah, when the economy is weakening and people spend less money, then the first thing they do is either they buy less product or they advertise less. And you can see that on Google, who came up with pretty weak Q3 results. Meta as well. Meta has a lot of other problems, right? They invest a lot on the metaverse, and that's there's less people who are signing in to Facebook. A lot of people are leaving Facebook and Insta and moving to TikTok. So with Meta is also the whole business model is problematic. Amazon is just the weaker economy, and you can see that the revenue are lower than expected. Microsoft less than the others. They're less dependent on advertising, more on cloud services, but also there we see that the share is down, maybe because of the others. And would that be good or bad news? Well, we'll talk about it in a second, but that's pretty amazing to see the share.
Yeah, it was
shares
pretty heavy, and it's actually the Dow Jones went up yesterday 200 points. So the Dow Jones went up, and Nasdaq really stumbled down. So that's the economy is strong and resilient. There's a lot of mistrust in that. So is it positive news or negative news? Make up the balance.
So. Yeah, I want to say that there's a bag of good and bad news here, and I want to summarize what we talked about, because as you said, we need to unpack it a bit. We have a reversal of the dollar index trend. This is good news for Bitcoin. This is good news for the crypto and the risk-on assets. Ethereum became deflationary. You showed earlier that Ethereum went 15% in the last week. It has to do with the fact that for the first time since we moved from proof of work to proof of stake, Ethereum is burning more coins. They're making them. And that's one of the promises they made when they moved to proof of stake. That means that the coin become more and more deflationary, and that's very big news. Yesterday, another thing to look at. Yesterday, the GDP results came from the US, and they went up 2.4%, which is higher than expectation. That means that the Fed still may continue their monetary policy. And so we don't know, and that's actually my next point. The Fed can be as hawkish as they promise to be. They can also see that the economy is suffering so much that they may start easing their policy. So it's not clear for me. And there's another point that I think we need to look at, and that's Elon Musk buys Twitter. Elon Musk buys Twitter can be good in different ways. Maybe we should talk about it a little bit later, because I have
a couple of slides on that later. But that's a really interesting subject. I mean, it's just interesting from so many different It's interesting from a crypto angle. It's interesting from a society point that a billionaire buys one of the most important social networks in the world. and then immediately starts acting around. So that's an interesting result. Okay, we have it back. It's not very clear. It's good or bad news. But one thing I can tell you, Idam, this is the gas price. The gas price of Europe. It's a European market. And what happened is that actually all the countries, especially the Dutch and the Germans and the powerful financial companies, financial countries, have been buying gas like crazy. I mean, and then basically went up from 20 cents in the past to €3.30. It's just like a times 30, and actually experts have been saying this is ridiculous. If you guys wouldn't have just bid so much against each other, you would have had the same amount of gas, and you would have paid, like 5 times less. So they say, please coordinate it on a European scale. But then, of course, we have to get used to that, and then the Dutch and the Germans, they have the ridiculous amount of money to pay. So they put on prices, and Italians and other countries which don't have so much money are really weak. But anyway, that's over now. All the there's a weak winter. Everything is filled up. All the reserves are filled up, and we're now down to a factor of 3. We're now up to 100 euro per cubic meter, and that is and it was like and when before the war it was like 80 cents or something like that. So, and also last time we talked, timber is down now to pre-corona levels. Is before this whole big inflation stuff came. Gold is down, and you see that also metal is now starting to become cheaper on the spot market. So what I see is that the building industry is still working really hard everywhere in the world, but in Q1, because of high interest and because of high cost, all the builders, the whole portfolio is down. The people who sell the houses, the realtors, they are saying we don't have nobody buying houses anymore. The houses haven't dropped, only a little bit, but volume slowed down tremendously because nobody's buying a house anymore. So I think we'll enter a deflationary period. I mean, that's what Katie from ARK Invest is always saying. Katie Wood is always saying, and it takes a little longer than she says, but I think she is right about the arguments that this was a temporary thing. The whole industry is now adapting. I'm rebuilding my house now. I'm now not rebuilding. I'm putting air conditionings up in my house. I'm completely at the end of the month in November. I won't use any gas anymore. And a lot of people are doing that. We're down in the Netherlands. The individuals are now using 30% gas less than a year ago. So that's quite significant, even compensated if you see that the temperature is pretty high at the moment. So everybody is now changing course in making sure that we use less gas. We went up from 45% of the natural gas was from Russia. Now it's only 9%. So things are changing. This is a positive. Positive thing. Here's another slide, and also that you see that the volume buying. There was a lot of extra volume which was not necessary, and now we have 160 ships full of liquid gas in front of the harbors, and they cannot get in, and they cannot basically get rid of their gas. So it's typically a circle where there's too much compensation, but that's good for Europe. And then about Twitter, because how do you evaluate Twitter being bought by Elon Musk? I mean, he's forced to buy it. Today, there was the trial would start, and he basically caved in, and he basically sent the money, and he now bought the company. And Binance is one of the equity investors. So that's really interesting. And of course, we all wonder why. And I can come up with a reason or two. But why do you think somebody like Binance would be interesting, or actually ZZ? It's a personal investment of him into the Twitter takeover. Why do you think he would do that?
Well, Twitter is a great platform to communicate and for news, and I think there's a couple of reasons why CZ can want to invest in such a platform, but mainly he wants to bring the crypto into the mainstream. So that's a great way to do that. It may be that they will use the BNB chain, the blockchain technology, to do some project with Twitter. So overall, it's a very positive sign, very positive development for the crypto world. I can see us paying for ads in Twitter with our crypto wallet. I can see Doge maybe or other coins that can be more prominent here. And of course, the Binance ecosystem will welcome Twitter to their work. As in a combination, it could be very interesting for both. Let's see. It's a good development. I don't see for the crypto world is a great development. What we see on Twitter.
Yeah, because of course we think that Elon is in generally positive about crypto, except for using a huge amount of energy. That he definitely is not in favor of that. So he's very much in favor of proof of stake instead of proof of work. And I think there's a couple of things you can look at it from a business perspective. Is it worth him paying 44 billion euro for this kind of a platform? Well, there's hundreds and hundreds of millions, 300 million people are using it regularly. It's basically dominating the press. And what he wants to do is he wants to make it a much broader network where you not only use it for communication, but more like a WeChat kind of ad. And where you do all your financing and contact with your banks and retail and maybe things with medical, a complete platform where you can, with your identity on Twitter, you can do all kinds of other things now. And I think he's able to attract the amount of talent to make that happen. He's fired a couple of people, the top, but he's able to attract a lot of talent. Now, suddenly, I think Twitter will be very interesting. People will go like, oh, wow, I don't want to work for Facebook, but I want to work for Twitter, because there will be a lot of things happening. So we can see how he's doing on that part of the business deal. And then he will be able to pay. It will be a good investment for him. On the other hand, of course, it's the society point of view. Will Twitter become better or worse when Elon Musk makes the rules of who has access to it? And especially everybody's wondering about one thing: will Trump get his money back? I mean, his Twitter account back, which is as good as money. And I think it's not only as important if he gets his account back, but I think much more important is what will the algorithm be? Which post will be going to the top? Because you only see a fraction of the amount of posts, and even if you subscribe to it, the chance that you see it is very low. Depends on the algorithm. If he decides to have loudmouths like Trump to give him a voice, but not retweet everything so much automatically or show it in all kinds of different streams, he could give back his voice, but he could not be so visible. So I have no idea what his thoughts is. But I think it's not so much about access, but about what does the algorithm promote. If it's only loud people who scream and yell and insult and lie, if those are the ones which the algorithm promotes, like it is now, then it sucks that Trump is back. If he makes a new reasonable algorithm, or gives us choices, which post do we want to see? Honest, not lying, not loudmouth, not insulting. If I could choose for such an algorithm, I would immediately choose it. Then it could work out really well. And we'll see. I mean, do you have any?
Just going back to the WeChat approach, which is one of the direction that he may take. Indeed, that's again a good reason why Binance want to put their ecosystem within Twitter, and when they have a stake in it, it will be much easier for them to integrate all the services into a WeChat platform or Twitter platform. So I think strategically it's very. I mean, it's easier. So much money. You need to spend it. You need to invest in companies, and it's probably a pretty good investment. 500 million is not so much for him, I guess. So well, let's see.
Okay. Not our problems, but we can talk about it. That's at least what we can do. Then I thought this was interesting. You say 74% of institutions plan to buy crypto. Survey from Fidelity.
Once in a while time, Fidelity, which is a big institution, they make a survey and they just published it yesterday or the day before, and where you can see that 74% of the institutions are planning to buy. Now, if you go to the article, actually, you will read that 58% already own Bitcoin. What I think it's more important to mention that now when Ethereum moved to proof of stake, and that we can expect to see some institutions start buying into Ethereum and not only Bitcoin, what they did so far. So that's a very interesting development. Again, the regulation in the US is another factor that we need to consider. They will start really investing in crypto once the regulation will be in place. Then we are looking into the midterm election. And I can imagine that if the Republicans will win and take both houses, that we'll see that the regulation for crypto accelerating. But the intention is there, and that's very good news for. That's very good. For
I looked at there was a big conference in Dubai about family offices, and I looked at that. I wanted to go there, but I didn't go. I want to go to Dubai because there's so much happening there. It's really interesting to go to some kind of a conference. So I'll basically go there this year. But at family offices, 56% of the family offices want to invest in crypto, a certain percentage of their complete stock. And of course, there's a lot of rich families who have money there. So that is a signal. And 56% want it, and only 12% have it. So there's a bigger gap there. But that's all a very positive news. Yeah. Okay. Then let's see what we have. Here. Oh, I have to go back to the slides, and we can go to the next slide. Visa. Have I heard this before, that they want to start their own currency, a cryptocurrency wallet?
I know that they are in a crypto and they are doing stuff, but crypto wallet I haven't seen their own crypto wallet. This is something new. Again, this is very good news. This is very bullish news. If Visa, who's only a lot of the transaction worldwide, be able also to offer us a wallet where we can actually pay through our cryptocurrency. We can pay to any things we do in the world in terms of transaction that will bring the mainstream very fast in a very easy way into crypto. So this is again a very good development, very bullish signs that the crypto is becoming more and more mainstream. We talked about it for the last year many times, and every time we bring those good news and people saying, yeah, but the coins are going down, so what the hell? No, not what the hell. At the end of the day, the adoption of the mainstream is the most important thing. If people will start paying with crypto, will mean that also the pricing will go up and the whole industry will get a big boost. So I think we will keep on bringing those news because those are the most important news in that they are. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's really interesting how, but I mean, it's not an announcement. It's just more they have filed patents. Yeah. And it's
evolving.
It's a rumor. It's just a rumor. Yeah. But those kinds of rumors, we always love these kinds of things. Now, I just wanted to show you one article, and about in one article is you have a couple of announcements what Bitcoin will do. First, I mean, there's this investor says, famous investor, which I will show in a second, but he says Bitcoin will go next year to 100,000, and then it will go down to 10,000. Before it goes up again. So, just like, and then there's another one who says, well, we think we're going to a 2 million, appreciation in 6 years. So it's just like people are just giving all these predictions and you have no idea. But here, this Larry Lepard is betting that Bitcoin will do 2 million per coin within the first 6 years. And another one is saying next year will be 100,000, and then we'll be a big recorrection, and we'll go to 10,000 before it goes up. Even this is only one coin, Bitcoin, very simple, huge differences. And you see that, anybody who predicts the price is just shooting in the dark. And as long as you tell them that you're shooting in the dark, you have no idea. It is.
No one knows.
Yeah,
no one.
you just have to. Nobody knows. I mean, what we see is that a lot of the big guys, the institutional investors, are taking it seriously, especially the first Bitcoin and Ethereum, and maybe a couple of more. But I mean, not anywhere. Not even the top 10. It's more the top 3 or top 4.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of interest in that. They're preparing. The infrastructure is getting ready. The regulation is getting ready, and then more money will flow into it. I mean, I was yesterday at Beursplein at the exchange, the physical exchange where the shares, the Amsterdam exchange, Beursplein, and I was there and I met all kinds of wealth management companies, and they say, well, we all want to put 2 to 4% of our portfolio into crypto, and we're looking for easy ways to do that. And easy ways means it has to be regulated. We have to trust the people who run it. They have to have a certain track record, and it has to be dollar in, dollar out, or euro in, euro out. But they definitely are willing to put a lot of money in there, and that's those are hundreds of billions of dollars where the wealth management companies would then be putting in. And that, of course, would influence the market quite a bit.
Yep.
Okay. So that's nice. And then I thought it was interesting what the UK is doing without, they have a prime minister again. And they also have a new name for stable coins. And they have a new bill to regulate crypto. So they're a little bit ahead of Europe. And we'll see what kind of stuff we'll do.
I think it's important to mention that the new prime minister is very pro-crypto, and there's a lot of expectation that he will regulate the crypto and will be heading the whole crypto wave within Europe. So I'm looking forward. On the other side, there are people are saying that he will actually accelerate the process to have a digital pond, which may not be a very good sign for crypto. So I'm excited to see what his next move. For sure, there will be some moves in the crypto and the digital currency space in the UK in the coming months. So let's see.
Okay, and you say he's in favor of crypto. He was born in England, but he was originally from Pakistan or something like that, or
no?
not?
From India, yeah, from
India. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's a pro crypto guy. Those are the rumors in any case. So
lots of rumors. Okay, so the name of the asset is called Digital Settlement Assets. So that's interesting, and of course those coins, the stable coins, are extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll basically get into this regulation a little bit more, because I think that will be very interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay. How have we been doing with our? How have the Diamond Picks robots been doing?
Do you want to share? Do you want me to share? Do you want to share? Do you want me to share the?
Oh yeah, no, I can share them. Here they are. So I will pick it up. I will pick it up here, and because our robots have been trained quite a bit, and which is where we know that we're really good in the way going down. We're really good. We're probably very good in the way going up. We have to test that, but now it's going sideways all the time.
Maybe you can go to strategies.
If I look at the last 2 weeks, I'm up 4.5% in my own portfolio, and if we look at the strategies and we compare it. So I think sideways is pretty hard, right? I mean, if we look, this is the last 6 months. These are our strategies, and this is the market. And the last 3 months, we have been doing, Bitcoin has been -12, and we have been doing +4 around that price. Let me take some things off. And then if we look at the last month, then Duroc has been doing well, but Genua was more, I think, configured to help on the way down, to make sure that people are protected, while Duroc is going up. So Duroc is doing really well. And then if we look at the last 2 weeks, yeah, Duroc is on top. It's interesting. How does it work, Idan? These different strategies with these different robots. Do they have different ways to handle different kinds of news, or how come that the differences are so big between Genua and Duroc, for example?
So I think you're right. So Genoa was tailored to deal with the downwards trends, and you could see that during June and July, when we had a lot of when the market crashes, Genoa was performing really well. And what you see right now, that in the sideway markets, Duroc is taking the lead, because Duroc is taking a bit more time, and it doesn't really close positions, and you're waiting until the right price is there and stepping in at the right coins, and then it's taking profit. Both strategies are taking profit when appropriate. So we can see this week that there were 4 or 5 coins in both strategies that the profit was taken, because we saw some uptick. So as soon as we see that the bull market is back, both strategies will perform well, as well as the index strategy, because those are the top 10. In sideways, we can see that in the last 2 months, Duroc is doing better, because it doesn't close position, it wait patiently, and then taking the trends up when the market is going up, while Genoa tend to close position very fast in order to make sure that he protects the clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, we keep on obviously monitoring and fine tuning the bots, at the same time trying to monitor the market sentiment in order to ensure that we're addressing the right issues per strategy and fitting it to the right market sentiment.
Yeah, I just want to show you, if we have 6 months, then we see that Duroc and Genua are pretty much the same. But if we look at the 1 year, Genua really shines, and then Duroc, and of course Bitcoin. Can we see the differences? Because at the beginning of the year, Genua did fantastic, and Duroc did also fantastic. And while Bitcoin was going down minus 66%, we went up 180% and 550%. So it's really different kinds of strategies also are doing better or worse depending on the market conditions. Okay, so it's always you have to make your own decision. We don't do financial advice; we just show you. And but you have to, if you basically make an account with Diamond Picks, you can go into a simulation mode, which is really, I would say, is really nice. It's really nice to play with. Let me show you that for 1 second. Let me see here. So if you make an account with an email account, it's about 1 minute. You come into our simulation mode, and then with the simulation mode, one moment, play mode, play mode. You can say, well, if I invest €1,000 in February, how is Bitcoin doing, and how is Hereford doing, or Genua, how is Genua doing? And then you see that Genua is doing 231%, and Bitcoin is 48%. But you can also say, well, no, I just want to basically look at April, or May, or something like that. If you say in May, then you see that the numbers are a lot less. 4.9% is Duroc up, and Bitcoin is down 42%. You can say, okay, well, how is now Duroc doing? And you see that Duroc is up 10% and Bitcoin is down 40%. And you can see also which coins are part of the conference. So it's nice to play with, and if you like what you see, then you can also make a connection to Bitfavo and Binance, because we now have added a second exchange, and Bitfavo is the biggest one in the Netherlands. It's really good exchange. Fantastic how these guys have done that. And it's also very easy to enter. If you're Dutch, it's very easy to enter the Bitcoin market, because you can pay with Ideal, and it's very simple to get a market. So you can play with this kind of with our simulation mode, and then become a member. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Idam. We'll see you next week again. I haven't had time to talk about the interviews I did with in Bitcoin Amsterdam, because what did you think of Bitcoin Amsterdam? 3,500 people getting together.
30 seconds about that. I thought it was very interesting. I thought that there were too many people who were favors Bitcoin, and there were not too many discussions on the other
Bitcoin is going
end.
to 100,000. Yeah.
So everyone's only talking about the one side, which is the Bitcoin, and that was great. But at some stage, I thought maybe they could have brought some people who also have some other opinion and not only a Bitcoin maximalist. So great to see all those people. Great to meet. I think you had a couple of very interesting interviews, mainly with Jeff Booth and with Tour de Meister and some others.
Yeah.
But overall, the first day was very interesting. And after the first day, I heard continue the same opinion. And I think next time we need to hear also other opinions that are not only coming from Bitcoin maximum.
Yeah, they're Bitcoin maximum, but we knew that. Okay, we knew that. So, yeah, Tour de Meister, he lives in Texas, and he's from Belgium. He's a very good observer, and I think he's a good thinker. Of course, I thought it was nice to see Mark van der Gijs, because that was also wonderful to see him again. I always love to see him. So we had Mark van der Gijs, who is very much, he's still busy with Bitcoin, but he's much more busy with CO2. That's CO2 certificates. It's really important for him nowadays. And then you were a big fan of Jeff Booth, who's more a global thinker. And I had a very extensive interview about the role, what happens with the current fiat system, why does he think it's such a trouble, and what will be the contribution of Bitcoin and Lightning, and my more a high-end interview. I thought this was fun. I mean, because we are in the winter, the crypto winter, I was wondering what happens to the salary. And these guys are they basically are a crypto agency where they find programmers and that kind of stuff. And they say the salaries are still high, and people are really glad to expand the amount of people. So there's a lot of innovation going. Then I was very interested about Lightning, because I want to know, we have 300,000 transactions with Bitcoin. How much is Lightning at the moment? Well, it's about 150,000 a week. So it's not on the same level. It has to go a factor of 10 and another factor of 10. And Edward has a fantastic podcast, Connect the World, over Lightning, and he's explaining what's the state of Lightning. Very interesting. And for people who love to know about what's happening in the internal core team, Sjors Provoost is one of the 10-12 core programmers of Bitcoin, and he explains how they make new features and how they have discussions, and if they're ever going to go to proof of stake instead of proof of work. And he's explaining that. So there's this. I will put it in the discussion, and you will be able to look at that thing. Okay.
Good.
So that's what I wanted to say it anyway, because I spent a lot of time. Nice videos for people. They take about 20 minutes. It's not 3-minute videos. It's in depth. If you're interested, basically, please take a look. Please take a look at it.
Interviews are great, Vincent. And I want also to mention, if you like what you see, don't mention to subscribe to our channel. And give us feedback if you think we need to talk a bit less, or to talk more, to what kind of topics you would like us to address next time. Just leave comments on YouTube, or send us a note, and we're happy to address that.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. See you later.